frozen caramel slice. Sit over there and listen to this. The Ink coin is down 99%. We've got a juicy show for you today, friends. Don't we all enjoy a little nice minus 99%, just a healthy correction? This is the Ink chart, INC. Now, I'm licking my lips because it's down 99%, but we got to be real about it. What are you buying it for? We got to think about the future. Anything down this much, and I understand it is an inflationary coin. Just be careful with that. But I'm seeing this number of 11.4 million market cap. And I just can't help but wonder how easy it would be to get this up with a little announcement from Ricardo Corazon himself, part of the Pulse Chain ecosystem, founder of Hex as well. But it would be so much speculation, it makes me wonder if it's even worth it. Perhaps if you really want to speculate, just gamble on the yield that you're collecting. But it's a tough game. What do you do? Because you're really buying depression here, really. And there's also something to think about. Now, if you like, subscribe, but what and all, you would have seen my video already. I talk about the Pulse Chain FUD that came out recently. And look, there's going to be probably an issue with the $600 million treasury because technically Pulse Chain is blacklisted by TRM Labs, who wear brown crumpled slippers on behalf of the corrupt Department of Injustice and the corrupt SEC, which makes absolutely no sense at all. But, you know, this does mean that the chances that any quote-unquote use case for Ink is going to be, like, attached, it probably dwindles for some time because you probably want to wait for something like the court case, which is around November 28th, just that first hearing for Richard Hart to see what happens after that, see how the price action performs. And there's a lot of things to just really think about. Embedded in the code of Ink, there's a little piece of the code. You basically get a governance voting right. And look, I'm just guessing. This is just me. Speculation. I'm guessing it allows you to dictate where the $600 million treasury goes or draw money out of it. Now, I'm not completely sure. This is just completely guessing. Maybe it just has nothing to do with anything, and we'll just make up a reason later. So this is so much speculation. You probably want to just say, you know what, I'd rather just like wait out or allocate to Pulse, PulseX or Hex, the core parts of the ecosystem rather than gambling on it. But it is something just to think about. Here I am in this thread, right? So I have this nice, sick Ink logo. It's very cool that the Pulse Chain community on the fly makes all these amazing logos and pictures like this. So here I am saying, you know, Ink is down 99%. What do you think it'll be used for? So remember, it is the inflation token. It's the dump token. Everybody dumps it. Just be careful. Everybody's speculating governance control. I mean, we've never had any coin in crypto, just to let you know. Nothing with governance ever goes up. In fact, you know, nothing in crypto goes up. Everything goes up and then down. So everything tends towards zero anyway. So we haven't been able to solve or crack anything. The only coins that have been able to crack it have been Bitcoin and Ethereum, pretty much. You can also make the case for BNB and Link because they've made enormously higher lows. But, you know, I mean, maybe one more cycle will be able to kind of figure them out. So there's a lot of speculation here. You got the corrupt SEC to be battling. Is this a battle you want to take out? Mr. Igloo Bamboo, a friend of the channel, mentions, this could end up becoming a currency. The supply should expand plenty to cover the users. After, I think it just needs a good way to exchange that value at that time, no matter if it's $10 or 10 cents. So, see, friends, everybody is really just like trying to just guess, is anything going to happen? But, you know, when it comes to these parts of the ecosystem, you have to put on a log chart. When it comes to these parts of the ecosystem, just in my experience, every time what I've seen is you need the core, the spear to rally first. And this is that spear. This is PLS. Usually when the core, the spear, the leader, so it's just like how Bitcoin's got to show strength first and establish itself. Then when it does that, we can start to move up. You know, I can give you obviously many examples. You know this from history as well. You already know this. So, you know, look and think about when did even Pepe come online after the bear market was cleared? It was here. Bitcoin had recovered up and you go, okay, now we're going up. Now that's when all the friendship arrives. So, you know, but we move much faster in this altcoin world with because of the smaller market cap, smaller starting user bases, lower number of people. And, you know, there's a lot more volatility when it comes to trying to predict these. And I want you to please to just think about where we've come from, where we are going. We had a zombie virus. We had the 2021, the scam bull market. We had scam China doing the front running. We had Luna FTX, everything collapsing. Now we are pushing forward with the industry. You got to think about why you're here. We're here because we believe the number will go up. We are crowding around that area. We are worshipping the thought in our mind that number will go up. We're hoping that the crypto industry continues to power on. We have right now 420 million people in crypto, all right? And the total crypto industry equals 1 trillion. So if we can get to 1 billion people, right, that'll be around a 2.5x. If you do a 2.5x squared, that's about 6x-ish, right? 6x on the 1 trillion. So it'll be 6 trillion. So what I've done is I've just done some basic Metcalfe's law. So we have 420 million people. Remember, it's people in crypto. If you draw a person, there's two people, okay? That's what we're here for. And if we grow to 1 billion, then that is 2.5x bigger the user base. So to do Metcalfe's law, you go, okay, if everything's just valued off a network, roughly, how much should the total crypto industry be worth? There you go. You're going to do 6 times 1 is 6 trillion up here. Is that the future? You know what's actually crazy? This line I've drawn from months ago is actually around 6 trillion here. That's crazy. If we go, woohoo! You know, that's just something to think about. There's something to think about. You also got to think about this. There's going to be 600 million people coming in. So on top of that, 420 million. 600 million people. That's a lot of whirlwinds, tornadoes of cash. That's a lot of emotional money coming in. That means that absolutely there will be another bull market. Absolutely there will be opportunities to make life-changing wealth. But the number you're going to get with the life-changing wealth is probably going to be much lower than everyone thinks, and it's going to be much harder to do it. It's not going to be as spread out in the industry. No way. It's just too difficult. Way too difficult. But there's a lot of people out there. People are wondering, like, what are all these people going to do? Yeah, actually, unfortunately, a lot of them are actually going to buy the top of Bitcoin and Ethereum. Absolutely. Like when Bitcoin's 60K, there's going to be people told that Bitcoin is going to flip gold. And that means it has to get to 500 to 600K. So that's another 10x. So there you go. There's your trap already. They're going to buy the top of Bitcoin because they're going to believe in the 10x. And you might say to me, no, they won't. Yeah, they will. They bought $25,000 Bitcoin because Balaji told them it's going to $1 million. You think when I said 80K, they're not going to believe that? Of course they're going to believe that. So this is where the whole industry is going. But along the way, people are going to FUD. They're going to FUD news. They're going to say, well, you know, everything's dumping, or there's inflation in this coin and all these token ICO unlocks. These 600 million people are going to dwarf what you think is heavy inflation for most coins. If you're right, of course. So recently there was ChainLink FUD. I just want to remind you guys. So this is no different. So when you hear people say, oh my gosh, the dumping and the inflation, it's by the time you hear about it, it's too late. Because trust me, the guys with the biggest guys, girls, pet ducks and pet squirrels, that were the people with the biggest wallets, they've been watching that coin for the inflation unlocks already. Like they would have front run that if it was really bad a long time ago. You have no chance. You won't even see it coming. It'll just be already be on its way down, right? So Chainlink inflation, for example. So recently, Sergey sent $100 million. You're like, oh my gosh, $100 million. But Chainlink in the liquidity pool DEX only has like $16 million. What's going on? This is the thing. When you are listed on exchanges, you can basically scam everybody because they're leverage traders. Let me explain, right? So Chainlink has 7% inflation per year. But look at this. Ethereum, maybe you've heard of that coin. Ethereum had 7% inflation at the start too. In fact, Ethereum was up to 16%. This is 16%. And then by 2018, it was 7%. And then just went down. See that? The inflation going down over time. They all start off high. Bitcoin started off high. Hex starts off high. Doge, everything starts off high inflation because you got to give a reason for people to believe at the start. So with Chainlink, they sent $100 million and you think, uh-oh, it's all over. But this is where I showed the number. Chainlink, because of the leverage traders and the gamblers, it's doing $137 million of volume per day. So just so you know, if you ever get in a position of power, friends, and I hope you do, make sure you like, subscribe, bell button, or remember, you're always a friend of the channel. To successfully sell out of any position and not impact the price, you can only sell about 1% per day. You can actually do like 2 to 3, but if you actually want to do like almost zero impact, no impact to the price, 1% per day. So ChainLink is doing $130 million per day. So you can actually sell $1.3 million every day on the market and it won't impact anything. You're wondering, how does that make sense if there's only like $16 million on the DEX on Uniswap pools? How come it's like you can do that? It's because of all the gamblers. When you introduce listings on Binance, on Coinbase, Coinbase, or any of these exchanges, on Bybit, there are people, they're playing with money that they don't have. So there are people, for example, they will be getting long on leverage. And then they only have like, they only have, say, $100,000 in their account. But when they buy, they can buy 10x. So they're going to hit up with $1 million. When they hit up with $1 million, guess what? The ChainLink team just got filled with $1 million. You're like, how does that make sense? They bought with $1 million, but they don't have it. Well, yeah, now they're on leverage. They're borrowing it. And you might say, well, that's a recipe for disaster. You'd be surprised because Chainlink and everything else is bonded to Bitcoin and Ethereum. So if Bitcoin and Ethereum go up, the market makers and everything and just the market general sentiment will just reprice it higher slowly over time. Not even slowly, it'll match it 1-to-1. So that's how all these things work. That's why these things are able to be done. That's how everybody gets rid of stuff over time. Everybody loves leverage and futures and perp trading, but that's why it's very risky. It's very risky, but that's why it's also advantageous. That's okay. Now you can see why exchange listings are bearish, friends. When your coin finally makes it to exchange, you get out. Because look what's happening. People who want to sell are like, oh, sweet. There's a degen out there with like, $100,000, but they can control $1 million and they can feel me. I'm sitting on the offer. That's what's happening. So they're literally, there's a bid. So this is their bid and this is your offer, 1 million, right? 1 million. But it's funny, in this person's account, he's only got 100K. So 0.1 million. And he's still able to fill you. He's still able to hit market. Why? He's doing 10x leverage. He's doing 10x leverage. Fascinating, right? Fascinating. That's how it works. That's how it all works. That's why the whole system is basically fiat Ponzi. This is how the fiat system works as well, or the financial system. If everything keeps going down because of deflation, then you don't have enough money to cover it. You don't have enough currency units to pay back everybody's debt, and literally everything goes to zero. That's why the government always needs inflation. They always have to print. It's just a question of how much do they print. But you know what else it's a question of? How much you're my friend. Make sure you like, subscribe, press the bell button and all. I appreciate every single one of you. Catch you next one.